What's up everyone, and welcome back to the 5th video in this consulting interview series. By now, I'm hoping you're all experts at taking on your next management consulting interview, given your fit interview, case interview, and group interview training. If you haven't seen these videos, I'd highly encourage you to check them out after this one, and I'll be sure to link them in my bio below. Knowing what's right and how to solve a challenging business problem is important, but what about the mistakes you should avoid making to begin with? Like almost anything in life, there are the right and wrong ways to go about solving a case. So in this video, I'll be sharing the consulting case interview mistakes you should avoid making to become a better interviewer and get that position. But before getting started, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help out the channel. Also, let me know in the comments below what you think of this consulting interview series, and if there's anything else that I'm missing or that you'd like to see. With all that said, let's get into the mistakes that you shouldn't be making. Like any interview, we're all gonna have nerves. Is it gonna be easy? Have I prepared enough? What if I don't do well? And sometimes we let these thoughts get the better of us and affect how well we solve case interviews. As a quick recap from my case interview video, a case interview is an interview where the candidate is asked to solve a business problem. It's commonly used in consulting because it gives the interviewer the ability to see how you solve applicable problems that they'll likely encounter while working, how they present themselves, and so much more. And again, I'd strongly encourage you to check out the other case interview videos I've made if you'd like to learn more. But going back to what I was saying about the nerves and feeling rushed, we may sometimes forget to do the simplest things. So the first mistake that I wanted to share with you guys, and one of the biggest in my opinion, is rushing into the case. It's a really big problem and a mistake when you're not taking enough time to take notes or gather your thoughts before diving deeper into the problem at hand. When you rush into the case, you aren't allowing yourself to process the question, gather your thoughts, and even ask the right questions. I remember going into my first ever case interview and forgetting to ask questions because I was scared they weren't the right questions to even ask. You should never think that and ask what you'd like to know. When it comes to asking questions though, try to have them build on one another so that you have a wider image of what it is you'd like to know. Sometimes I'd ask my question, then continue by sharing why I asked that question. It gives perspective to the interviewer, your thought process, and will clarify as well the case in case you have missed something. So don't rush into the case and always be sure to ask questions. Take your time and ask for a couple of seconds if you need in order to make sure you're ready and confident to move forward. The next mistake I'll be sharing with you guys runs slightly in parallel to rushing in the case, and that's having incorrect qualitative or quantitative conclusions. What I mean by either of this is either incorrectly doing the math on a calculation or not sharing what you recommended appropriately. Regardless, what you need to remember is that communication matters. How you say what you want to say matters, and we can sometimes make mistakes when we're rushing or not taking the time to answer correctly. When it comes to the math, be good at making quick calculations and guessing estimates that make the math work. Any rounding or estimations should always be explained to the interviewer so that there aren't any discrepancies in your work. Again, communication is big because not explaining certain ideas that are logical and straightforward to you can result in issues later on in your case, which might even affect the overall outcome of the case. For more qualitative cases, there's 3 components that I need to mention about communication. The first being how you need to like this video if you're finding this content helpful. But the other 2 deal with how to structure your thought process. Cases are very open-ended, and it's oftentimes that we get confused or lost in our own thoughts and ideas because of how fast-paced it is. So remember to have structure in your approach when solving cases, because it'll help both you and the interviewer understand what it is you're trying to say and share. But something we need to talk about is using cookie cutter frameworks. There are so many frameworks out there and they all make me so sad. Being a consultant means being able to solve problems and business needs with unknown variables that can come on our way. No framework can unfortunately account for changes being made. But also, you need to show the interviewer something they haven't already seen. I've spoken with many recruiters, and that's one of the most annoying things they see because it shows them that an interviewee is taking the safe way and not taking the case logically. Sure, having structure is important, but having a framework that directly guides you in the direction that needs to be taken, regardless of whether or not it's even right, is wrong. Rather, what I like doing is having a couple points in my head that I'd like to refer to. Think about the different markets, competitors, products that could supplement or complement the one the interviewee shared, and some others just as a reference. If you'd like a list of main ideas, not frameworks, you should follow, let me know in the comments below so that I can upload it onto my website, ryanrafi.com. So as you can see, there are so many easy ways to make a mistake during your case. You don't want to ever rush a case because you're nervous or ask the critical questions that will help in order to solve the case. Remember that communication is big when it comes to the quantitative and qualitative aspects, so make sure you take your time and share your ideas methodically to ensure that the interviewer is on the same page as you. Lastly, have structure. Cases can sometimes be fluid as we jump from one idea to another, so we get lost in our ideas and thoughts sometimes. So make sure you have some structure, but don't use a cookie cutter framework forcefully just because you've made it work. Think logically and take your time as you complete a case, and there's no doubt you will do well. With that being said, that wraps up the consulting interview series on this channel. I've made 4 other videos, so be sure to check those out, and I'll link them in my bio below. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you found this video and this series helpful. I make videos twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays, so be sure to check out my other videos as well for more information. And if you'd like more guidance with your consulting process and interview preparation, I'd highly encourage you to visit my website, ryanrafi.com, and use my promo codes in the bio below to set up a time to speak one-on-one. Once again, thanks. Until next time.